Hello and welcome to episode 72 of 15K plus random movie reviews, the podcast where we take a random movie from Metacritic's all-time movie list. This is Colin.
This is Niall.
And this is random movie 11,039. Upside down, exclamation point, three amigos, exclamation point.
Very important, upside down, exclamation point.
I'm a big fan of the upside down exclamation point.
So am
actually.
I. You know where you're starting with the exclamation. Starts right here, and here's where it ends.
Yeah, I'm not speaking in a normal tone of voice in my writing here. This is meant to be shocking or funny or non-normal.
My first experience of it, I was shocked by this approach to writing, but having seen it a few times, like when you're asking a question, if the question's long, you know what inclination you're supposed to give. I'm asking a question here. Am I asking a question?
Yeah.
But yeah, like... Brilliant. Everything should have it.
Yeah, English needs to have the warning of the delivery of the sentence.
Yeah. You want to find out at the end, you read the damn thing.
Yeah. That was
a question.
A cry for help.
Back to the start.
Yeah. So Three Amigos from 1986 runs for 1 hour and 44 minutes. Metascore of 52, a user score of 7.0. Budget 25 mil, box office 39.2. Directed by John Landis, got lots of director movies under his belt. Animal House, Blues Brothers, and Blues Brothers 2000.
Well, less said about Blues Brothers 2000, the better, to be honest. But I did love Blues Brothers.
Yeah, Coming to America, Spies Like Us, Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 3, not 1 or 2.
Yeah. Wally World or something. I can't remember what the title was. Awful crap.
Yeah. He wrote this with Randy Newman, the guy who does the music.
Such a weird thing. Randy Newman, the guy who did Toy Story's music.
Yeah. And he did the music for this too.
But
no, he is decent. I remember Family Guy taking the piss out of Randy Newman.
Yeah. Sitting here looking at the tree. Yeah.
And Lorne Michaels may not be known to Irish people, more so popular in America. Do you know him?
I do not, actually. Not personally.
Like a guy behind Saturday Night Live.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's got chops in terms of comedy writing.
Yeah, he was behind 30 Rock as well, I think, but producing it or whatever. But like he's crazy big into. He's got every comedian or every comic actor from the 70s onwards will probably go through Saturday Night Live and maybe even working with him in other things. So he's very, very well known.
You had definitely related with Chevy and Steve Martin and Martin Short, and he'd know the lads personally.
Oh yeah. They went through the SNL machine sort of thing, as a lot of the actors in the 80s have done. The summary is very simple on Metacritic. 3 actors accept an invitation to a Mexican village to perform their on-screen bandit fighter roles, unaware that it is the real thing.
Yeah, so it's basically Galaxy Quest, but with banditos and cowboys.
Yeah, pretty much. Galaxy Quest, a little bit of Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
But what did you think of it in general?
See, I remember this movie fondly from when I was a young, strapping young lad. Strapping. I used to strap a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I wasn't strapping, I was watching this movie. I loved it back then. I was very worried because I've a few things we've watched recently. I loved, like Krull. I loved as a kid. Watched it again. Oh dear God, it's crap. This didn't upset me too much. It has aged a bit, but and some of the comedy's kind of simple.
Yeah, I think for me it was quite a confusing movie. It didn't go fully into any genre. At some point there's a singing bush, and I said, where did that come from? And then
that's Randy Newman.
That's Randy Newman. Yeah, he's like, I'm writing this with you. There needs to be a singing bush, and it was his. Whose voice was it? I read it. It was either his, Lorne Michaels. No, it was Randy Newman's voice.
It was Randy Newman's voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know who the Invisible Swordsman was though. Never got to hear his voice.
No. I just felt that the jokes weren't good enough. There was a lot of long, played out jokes that just didn't hit. I think Chevy Chase was dialing it in. There was no sort of emotion or energy in it at all.
But I always liked the relationship between Steve Martin and Martin Short. I'd love that scene in the cantina where they walk in, everybody thinks they're badasses.
The song.
They start singing My Little Buttercup.
That's one of the only funny
I love
things.
that scene. That's what I remember when I was a kid going, yes, this is hilarious, and laughing my ass off. And I still chortle today.
That's a pretty but I think I need a lot more like that throughout the movie to keep me interested and to actually rate this movie well.
Yeah.
I've got some low scores for this.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it at all, actually.
Oh God.
Yeah. So have that.
You figure.
Yeah.
We might be disagreeing on this one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's good to hear. Good. Yeah. How do you want to do this? I thought we did very well with Asteroid City by not really going through a lot. So maybe just general.
We can fly through at high level. So it kicks off the three lads. They're big movie stars, but they go see Fat Tony.
Yeah. Well, they start off with a big song, which is like, okay, fine.
Yeah, the intro. Yeah, where they're just the three guys singing the Three Amigos on horseback. Which was the three guys singing the song as well. Not that it's such a great song.
No, did they hold their voice for 17 seconds for that?
I doubt they did. That's quite impressive if they had did that. I'd say that's done with a bit of creative editing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's set in 1916, right? So it's
Mexico in 1916.
Yeah, so there's a village down in Mexico, and it's been overrun by El Guapo.
Santa Poco.
Santa Poco,
Little
El Guapo. And El Guapo means gorgeous man or something.
The male beautiful guy, it's a handsome man. El Guapa is a handsome lady.
Yeah, nice. Good Spanish lesson for everybody.
Thank you.
So this lady comes in with a boy from the village looking for help. Nobody will help her. Pops into the cinema and sees the Three Amigos in a movie and goes, "They're real."
Yeah, this is why it's like Galaxy Quest, because the lads in Galaxy Quest see the documentaries. We get these guys help. Exactly same story. I'm guessing Galaxy Quest absolutely ripped them off with storyline.
It's funnier though, Galaxy Quest.
Oh, it's way funny. It's Alan Rickman. Come on.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver, everybody.
Yeah. I would have preferred to watch that. Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed this movie, but it ain't no Galaxy Quest. That's a different just level altogether.
Yeah, I didn't think the quality of the humor was at all good throughout this, apart from the Buttercup song.
It's much more childish than what would be used to be honest. It's not really an adult's movie. It's more of a kid's movie in my eyes.
Well, that's another thing. That's another thing that sort of irked me a lot. So it is a very confusing movie to figure out what's going on, because I think Chevy Chase plays it seriously. He doesn't go for funny at all, really.
He just plays an idiot, but
not even that much, though.
He doesn't really have that many in the way of good lines. He says the odd stupid thing, and
to quote a line from Tropic Thunder, he doesn't go full blank.
Yeah, well, maybe he needs to push it a bit harder. He to be honest, he gets very little good dialogue. I know Chevy Chase is better.
Yeah, that's true. And like in the first scene, as you were just saying, Harry Flugelman, the production guy, like Chevy Chase doesn't talk for the first couple of minutes, and then he says
just
something
stupid.
He just looks dumb. Yeah, it's really weird. And then so they play Lucky Day. Steve Martin's Lucky Day. Martin Short's Netherlander.
Which is a great name.
Yeah, it's good. And then Chevy Chase's Dusty Bottom. Like, come on, it's a bit weak, that
one's rubbish.
Dusty Bottom.
Lucky Day, fair enough. It's kind of reasonably weak. But Ned's a great name. Netherlander.
How long do you think they came up, they sat around the writing room coming up with the Three Amigos salute?
I'd say that was about 15 seconds.
It's like the Macarena and then a groin thrust.
Yeah.
They turn to the side and cough.
Yeah. Again, I enjoyed that. I don't know if you did. It's stupid. It's very Steve Martin.
It is very Steve Martin.
And see, the thing is, I like Steve Martin from that genre. Like, I think I don't know if you've ever seen it. Bowfinger.
You pick one of his worst movies as one.
I love that movie. It's my favorite Steve Martin movie.
Father of the Bride.
No, that's awful.
Parenthood.
No, that's awful. Actually, no, sorry. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's good. Yeah,
That's amazing. Sorry, Dan Bowfinger.
Bowfinger.
I love Bowfinger. But anyway, sorry.
Have you
This is
watched?
where we differ.
Yeah, have you watched Only Murders in the Building with him and Martin Short?
I have not. It keeps popping up in my Netflix, and I'm like, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's not like when they go on to chat shows, they're very funny together. They just rip off each other and just take the piss out of each other. And I watched the first 2 seasons, I think, of Only Murders, and it's fine. It's okay. It's not really meant to be that funny, I guess. It's sort of like a black comedy type of thing. But I didn't watch the season 3.
See, I like it when they're ridiculous together, absolutely ridiculous. And in this, there's a couple of moments where they're ridiculous. The Buttercup song just... The whole point of this movie is that one piece.
I guess, yeah. That's the only thing I'll remember.
Kinda, whatever.
Yeah. So they get basically kicked out of Hollywood to get this telegram going, yeah, come on down, save us 100,000 pesos. So they're going, yep.
Oh, yeah. So the gag there is that Carmen goes into a telegram office and says, listen, I need to send this message. And she gives this big, long message. And the guy says, how much money do you have? This is 26 pesos. And she goes, oh, I've only got 10. And so he gives her, I'll give you the 10 peso deal. So he chops out 90% of the words.
Yeah.
And the gag is, they think they're going down for a movie deal or something like that.
Yeah. It's a big setup for the gag.
Yeah.
Sitting in the telegram office was a big setup. It could have been shorter. And also, the gag then relies heavily on the word infamous. Infamous.
Yeah,
and they riff on that.
The 3 lads are idiots.
Yeah, but they're not Dumb and Dumber idiots. They don't go that far, and that's what makes it not that funny.
They don't
throughout it. And then that's another this is where it started. Very quickly got me where I went, man, they're really just focusing on one gag and rolling with it. For example, when they go in to steal their clothes, he does nearly awful. 2 minutes of bird calls on the wall.
That was rubbish. I did not mark that down as weak.
Very weak. Very weak. So basically the rest of the movie's set down in Mexico, and the bar room scene, some Germans come in looking for El Guapo. They're there for El Guapo.
The Diablo Cantina.
Yeah. The bar of drunkards or something it translates into or something.
Or the Devil's Cantina.
No, it's not called that. It's called something else.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yeah.
The town was Diablo.
Maybe. 3 amigos arrive, and so they think basically that they're the bad guys.
Friends.
So they're all the crowd in the bar are very scared of them already, but then they do their Buttercup song and they get some crowd participation. That's kind of funny.
Singing along, that is good.
Yeah, and then what else? Oh yeah, fucking hell! This is another joke that pissed me off because it was so long focused on it. Oh, it must be a male plane.
Oh,
because I can see its testicles.
Yeah. I can see its balls, and the 2 lads are like, what?
And Martin Short's just laughing for 30 seconds straight.
And the 2 other guys don't get it. So the joke is they don't get it.
Yeah. That's the joke.
Yeah. Okay, that, again, weak.
Yeah. They go to Santapulco. And the funny thing is that the 3 of them are on one horse. Yeah. And then later on, they're 3 in a bed. And there's another thing is like these 3 unfunny things. Sorry, 3 in a horse, and then Chevy Chase tries to eat a taco and everything falls out. Did you laugh at that taco eating?
No, I didn't. I'll be honest.
I kind of laughed at when the little boy went, "Can I have your watch when you're dead?"
No, the bit I laughed at actually roughly around then was, do you have any food that isn't Mexican?
Yeah, that was at the table after the food falls out of his taco.
That I laughed at, not the taco bit, but do you have any non-Mexican food?
That's knowing Chevy Chase, that sounds ad-libbed.
Yeah. Slightly offensive and humorous for that fact.
So the first time the El Guapo's men comes along, I actually thought one of them was El Guapo. I thought the head guy was El Guapo. No, he wasn't guapo-ish enough. So they go out and perform in front of them, running circles around them, and then the guys just leave confused. So everybody's going, yay, viva los amigos.
But the lads just went, let's get out of here. This is weird. Let's go tell El Guapo.
Yeah, and then El Guapo goes, I'm going to squeeze the shit out of them. Which was
that's a bit harsh.
Yeah. So again, we have this a party scene, and it's just it's roped along too much. Funny enough, because Steve Martin does a rope trick, and he can actually do that. He learned it and being a magician or something.
Did at Disneyland.
Yeah,
but he was working there.
So like Chevy Chase is playing the guitar, whatever. Steve's doing a rope. Martin's talking to kids, and that's entertainment. That's interesting.
I think the 10 minutes there could have been chopped.
It's a long movie for what it is. A stupid comedy.
An hour 46 is probably a bit much.
I actually
lop half an hour off it and you'd have a much better movie.
With 40 minutes to go, I sped it up. I wasn't finding. I put the subtitles on so I didn't miss anything, but I wasn't finding it at all.
Oh, you may have missed another piece of dialogue I found interesting.
I heard all the dialogue.
So that was the El Guapo and his plethora of
yeah.
So I like that one. That's another scene I liked, but you didn't.
I remember it. What's plethora mean?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, they're hungover.
As smart as you, but blah blah. Anyway, we get to it when we get to it.
Yeah. Anyway, they're hungover, and El Guapo comes for real then with 50 of his dudes. Steve Martin, Lucky Day gets shot, and he goes back to them and go, "Yeah, it's real."
Yeah, I liked him getting shot because it's like dancing around the place. The next thing is on the ground.
Yeah. What I found funny was actually, I thought it was the funniest line in the movie because it's actually they're talking and I can't remember what they say to set it up, but Steve Martin goes, "Yeah, I've been shot already." I thought the way he delivered it. We're gonna die.
This is pretty serious. I've already been shot.
Yeah. I thought that was actually a well placed line. Actually, and quite clever.
Humor in the face of absolute doom. Yeah.
So then Guapo they mess up the entire village. They take the lady Carmen, I think her name is.
Poor Carmen on the back of a horse. Yeah. Three lads run away crying.
Yeah. Then they come back for some reason just to get their stuff. I don't know what stuff. Yeah. No. But Martin Short then, of course, you have to have this pivotal moment when Martin Short says a big speech and goes, "Are we mice or men?" I thought they could have went funny and went squeak or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was expecting Chase to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, because he stalled a little bit, Chevy Chase.
And I don't know why. I assumed I remembered it that way. Obviously wrong. It's
I hated the next scene.
the bat.
The song.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
First of all, I'm okay with the fake backdrop. Animals? The fake backdrop. No, I love the fake backdrop. That's crap. The fake backdrop's great. Actually, it was.
I enjoyed the fact that they're eating fried bats. From a modern perspective, it's not something you want to do.
No, for sure. And then he starts playing the Fallout song on the guitar.
Yeah, the lyrics are different.
Yeah, of course, but it's the typical generic sort of thing. But then it goes on forever, and then these animals just start showing up, and then the horses have fake sort of my baby's daddy mouths.
Exactly what I've written down here. It's just so the same. Like, although this is like animation as opposed to CGI, but it's the same effect. It's just freaky.
They're going. I don't mind
Disney.
It here. They're going for Disney.
On the babies, I hated it.
The baby sucked, but this was bad as well.
This is bad as well. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But it wasn't as disturbing as On the Babies.
No, definitely not. But it's like, again, this comes out of nowhere. Of course, right, they've sung Buttercup already, but that was comedic. This was more like...
This is what happens when you let Randy Newman write shit.
Well, exactly. I'm not writing this unless you let me put in 2 of my shitty country songs.
Yeah, poor Randy. Yeah, it's a weird scene.
Yeah, they're making it, and then again, like there's a weird sort of it takes a stupid twist where there's no sort of mythical or mystical things, and he's saying around the campfire, "Yeah, so we have to turn left at the singing bush, and then we have to ask the invisible swordsman." Like, where the hell did the invisible swordsman come out of? Like, keep it Western, keep it real.
Well, how are you going to tell what invisible swordsman get out of? He's invisible.
Well, they shot him, so
they do shoot him. Yeah, listen, it's weird. It's not actually part of the story.
No, it's just nothing. It's just another couple of 10 minutes taken away of your life that you'll never get back again.
Yeah.
The singing bush was stupid, and they have to do these chants, and that's supposed to be fun. That's supposed to be funny. The chants that they do.
Yeah. No. I did a lot. Yeah, I did chuckle when the invisible swordsman got shot, mainly because I remembered him getting shot.
Yeah, I think you're probably laughing at nostalgia.
Quite possibly. quite possibly.
And how you felt back when you were a kid. No worries in the world.
Before the weight of the world crushed my spirit.
Yeah. So they make it to El Guapo's ranch or whatever, and it didn't really matter, but the Germans are giving them guns and the plane that they saw, so that's fine.
So this is where he gets his plethora of piñatas.
Piñatas gag.
I like this gag. You don't. But what I like about it is he goes into a tirade against him. Why can't you tell me what a plethora is? But then his friend Hefe says, is it really that you're annoyed that I don't know what a plethora is? Or is it because something else is upsetting you? And he starts psychoanalyzing his friend.
Again,
so I find that humorous, but it's silly.
Again, a bit displaced, I felt.
Oh, completely displaced. That's why I liked it.
Yeah, and piñatas were kind of fun, I guess. They started decorating with all these piñatas. Piñatas. Whatever. Yeah, that
thing. Horses and stuff.
So they try to swing in on a rope, and the three of them have 3 different adventures.
But before we go in that far, though, the 3 lads are trying to sneak around the side of the building. Another scene I like. They're dressed in shiny black outfits.
Yeah.
And Bandito wanders past and they freeze.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see them because they froze.
Why not ham it up even more? Like, let's say there's cacti beside them. Do shapes of cacti or something. Make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, do something. It's not funny when they just freeze and walk past. I read that they're actually in Spanish or speaking about a recipe or something.
Were they?
Yeah. So anyway, Steve Martin crashes onto the ground. Chevy Chase goes into a wardrobe.
But at least he finds Carmen.
And then Martin Short is hanging up on the piñatas for 10 minutes.
He seems to be enjoying himself up there, though, for some reason.
It's hell of an endurance. So they put Steve Martin in a cell.
Right there.
Yeah, so Steve Martin's in a cell, so there's obviously a big physical gag where we constantly go back to him, where he's trying to push away from the chains.
I know you don't like this by the sounds of it, but I really enjoyed the physical humor here, where he's basically torturing himself, trying to get out of it, and keeps getting smashed against the wall.
Yeah, I just didn't find the enjoyment in it.
You just no joy left in you.
Oh, I've got joy. I just don't laugh at things I don't find funny.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase gets in a disguise. Well, here's another thing I disliked. How about this? They start killing people for real.
Oh, for reals, yeah.
So the first guard, they kill a guard with a rock and he falls off the wall before they go in and swing on the ropes. Then Chevy Chase is going in and he stops at hitting the guy over the head with his gun, and Carmen has to do it. It's like, you already killed somebody, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, and he knifes somebody later on.
yeah, and then the entire town just shoots them all up and kills them. Everybody dies at the end.
Well, the bad guys die at the end.
Yeah. So,
were they the bad guys, or was El Guapo the good guy? Ask yourself that question.
I don't care. It's his birthday and he gets a lovely sweater for his birthday. I bet you found that funny.
No, but I like the sweater.
Yeah, and then when they're leaving, there's a woman holding it, like crying that he didn't take it with him. I find that funny. Those little aside jokes, not something that's been played up for 10 minutes and they try to grind it to death.
I do agree with you that they were a bit too long running, some of those jokes, whereas the subtle stuff in the background is quite humorous.
Subtle's always good.
Yeah.
So it all wraps up. Basically, El Guapo finds Chevy Chase in disguise. That's another one that lasts forever. He doesn't notice him after the first question he asks him.
Yep. Oh, and he goes, was it? I can't remember.
Ransack the village. Yay. And then he mentions
the bushes of a...
What? No.
Well, wait a second.
Yeah. And then he's like going, oh, these amigos are falling from the sky.
And then Nederlander falls down from the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the German recognizes him going, oh, you're on TV. You're a very good duelist. And he's going, yeah, I did it for real. Well, then let's go. Let's duel.
Yeah, you never did that. You're too fast, MF.
So then Mr. Nederlander kills him.
His first kill, and then he goes rampage.
Yeah.
I can't shoot a person, and then he kills like 20 people.
So they escape and do a plane, hop into the German plane and head back to Santa Poco. Heads there, and then they go, what are you good at here?
Sewing. Damn it.
God, they must have come up with that over a night of just, what do we do for the end scene?
Too much tequila at this point.
Yeah. So basically, Paco or El Guapo and his men come in, and there's hundreds of amigos in costumes running around, which doesn't make any sense because it's the three amigos pop up everywhere.
Yeah, so it's the three amigos.
Yeah, it's not the locals. No.
The locals only turn up at the end, so yeah. They took a few liberties here.
Yeah, whatever. They didn't really give a shit. So they end up killing everybody, and El Guapo calls Martin over and shoots him in the foot.
Which I found funny. Hey, come over here, I've got something to tell you. And just shoots him in the foot.
Yeah. And the villagers try to give them money, but they give it back to them, just mirroring what they did in their movie.
The movie, yeah.
You know the end. You know what I found stupid about this? Not stupid. Do you know what I cringed at every few minutes in the movie when they were riding on the horses? Did you ever? Every time they got on the horses, they nearly ran over a chicken.
I missed that.
Every time
aiming at a chicken.
It was so much. There were so many chickens around, and they're just feeding off the ground. But they would just start their horses, and there were so many times that the chicken nearly got trampled. They just went.
There were just no consideration for the chickens.
No, and I found it quite appalling, really.
Chickenist.
Yeah,
these assholes.
And then, of course, they had to make horses fall into a big hole at the end, nearly break their fucking necks.
Yeah, that was grim for the horsies.
Tell me what you liked about the movie in general, then.
Well, listen, it can be...
Don't let my moroseness put you off.
It can be summed up in one phrase, and that's My Little Buttercup. I love that scene so much.
It's a good scene,
It drags this movie up. And I love Steve Martin, and to a lesser degree, Martin Short and Chevy Chase. I like the ridiculous bits. I don't like the extended, drawn-out jokes, clearly. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not nearly... What I like about it is it's not nearly as terrible as I thought it was going to be, rewatching this movie after so many years.
I don't think I watched it before.
35 years ago, that's it, last time I seen it.
You were there, cross-legged on the carpet in your living room.
Myself. He fell from the sky. That's funny.
Yeah. Maybe comedy has got more sophisticated over the decades.
Oh, it has. And you listen, for this comedy that makes a 12-year-old laugh versus an old grumpy fecker like myself, they're different. And I think some of that residual nostalgia still affects how I feel about this movie.
Yeah, but you lost your love for Krull, though.
There's no comedy in that, though. There's nothing to laugh at there.
It's fantasy, though. It's escape.
But it's so plastic that it's hard to look past the obvious fakeness of it all. Whereas the fakeness is kind of the point, if you get me. So that doesn't really detract from it. Yeah,
I don't think the Martin, Michaels, and Newman writing trio came together to make something good.
Randy needs to stay away from writing.
I'm guessing he just got... I think he got... I can't remember. I read in the trivia that Steve Martin said something about a line he wrote was his favorite line in the movie. But I thought there for a second that he might be just get a writing credit for the songs he wrote. That sometimes happens, you know.
No, he was one of the three writers.
Yeah, the bar in the movie is called Cantina del Borracho.
Del Borracho.
Yeah, which translates as Canteen of the Drunk.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of actors that could have played they were up for playing the roles. Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Rick Moranis, Bill Murray. Yeah. Roger Ebert back in the day was appearing on Johnny Carson's show alongside Chevy Chase, and he was asked what his least favorite film of the holiday season was. He replied, Three Amigos. And then Chase said, looking forward to your next picture. Then backstage, he told Ebert he didn't think it's so hot either.
Oh, weirdly, I think removing Chevy Chase, don't get me wrong, I like some of the stuff Chevy Chase has done quite a lot, but I think removing him from this movie and replacing him with one of those actors you just mentioned would have been a good move.
Yeah.
I don't think as you said, I think he might kind of phoned it in a little bit.
I think Bill Murray would have ad-libbed more and made it a bit more funny.
Well, you stick Bill Murray in anything, it's going to be funny.
Yeah, I think actually Robin Williams was mentioned somewhere. Steve Martin said his favorite Randy Newman joke was when El Guapo opened up his present and went, "It's a sweater."
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how it's delivered, I guess.
Yeah. I'm giving the plot 1.5. What are you giving it?
I give it 2.
2. Yeah.
Listen,
we don't need to expand upon that.
It ain't rocket science, this plot.
No. I give the acting 2. It's fine. It's nothing.
2.5. Just for My Little Buttercup.
Soundtrack, I gave 1.75 just because it annoyed me with the singing, dancing animals.
2.5. Just for My Little Buttercup.
And production, I gave 2.
2 again. Listen, the production's cheap plastic. I did love, as you say, that plastic scene in the middle where they're camping out at night. I love the production of the background of that. No need for all the animals faffing around.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. TV Guide magazine gave it 20 out of 100. Prodded by Landis's slam bang direction, the effect isn't so much a comedy as it is an exercise in excess. Somewhere in the planning stage, one all-important factor was left out. Humor. The concept is a funny one, yet no one seems to have the faintest idea what to do with it. Between Landis's direction and the initially lame screenplay, Three Amigos never really stands a chance. I agree, TV Guide magazine. The Globe,
TV Guide.
Yeah, the Globe and Mail Toronto gave it 88 out of 100.
Bit much.
John Fitzgerald said, "Masters of impersonation all, Martin, Chase and Short are a riveting trio. All seem perfectly at home in the wacky rhythm of this picture and in contributing their individual talents to the very funny whole. For the folks who see them, the Amigos' enthusiasm would likely be contagious." That was from 1986.
Yeah. No. Bit much.
A little bit too much. Let's bury this movie in the desert and forget about it. Along with your childhood.
Let's call it over and say, "I got something to tell you," and then shoot it in the foot. That's what we should do.
Yeah, that's another way to do it. Although when I do post the scenes that stand out on TikTok whenever, this week or whatever, then Buttercup will be there in its entirety.
No, and I will watch it over and over again.
Yeah, you and 200 other people. All right, let's roll the dice for a random movie then for next episode 73. And it's number 6,882.
Oh, mid-table.
Mm-hmm. And movie 6,882 is, if I say a line from it, you'll know it.
Oh.
What's in the box?
It's definitely not 8.
No.
It's not 7. Oh, it's not 6. It's definitely 7.
You ruined it.
I ruined the joke.
You had one number you didn't have to say, and you said it.
Oh, damn it. So this is going to be an interesting one because...
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Such a great movie, but what's his face is in it?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey.
And I haven't really seen anything with it. Since his controversy, recent controversy. But
yeah. There's a lot of movies that he's great in, but I just haven't watched it because of his recent allegations. Usual Suspects is great. The summary is 2 New York detectives, Pitt and Freeman, find themselves on the trail of a vicious serial killer that chooses his victims according to the 7 deadly sins.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it's got a Metascore of 65, but a user score of 8.8.
Sorry, what was the Metascore? 65?
The Metascore is 65, yeah.
That seems particularly low for what this is.
It's a little feeble, yeah.
Yeah, I listen, I haven't watched it in some time as well, but I remember watching this the first time and thinking this is amazing.
Well, it's a David Fincher movie, director of The Social Network, Gone Girl, Zodiac, The Killer.
style and genre he likes.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Benjamin Button, Fight Club, obviously.
He's a fan of Mr. Pitt.
He loves Mr. Pitt. Oh, The Game. What a good movie.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Alien 3 you directed. Never forgot that.
A much maligned Alien movie, if you ask me. I actually thought it was quite good. Not nearly as bad as some of the movies that followed.
Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. Good combination.
Yeah.
Like, it's solid. Like, you know, it's 1995. This was the decade of good, solid cop buddy movies.
The Fincher decade.
The Fincher decade. Andrew Kevin Walker wrote it. Did he write anything else? Not really. He's listed as other for a lot of things. Yeah. Sleepy Hollow he produced and wrote. I remember going to the cinema to watch that movie.
I've never really
Johnny
sure
Depp.
how I feel about that movie either.
It's not okay. The best.
It's good elements to it. But no.
Yeah, but no. It is a bit of a solid runtime of 2 hours and 7 minutes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sneaky feckers.
Yeah, they planned that. All right, cool. Let's do that then.
We should definitely do the thing.
Yeah, let's do that thing for episode 73. So if you've made it this far, give us a review or a rating if you haven't done so, and you're lazy. Just do it, will ya? Please. And send us a review if you haven't done, or send us an email if you haven't done so already to give us your top 10 movies so we can randomly pick something else other than 15,000 plus movies. That would be nice. Yeah. So that's the end of 3 Amigos, and we'll see you again on episode 73 for 7. Bye-bye.
Ciao.